Hello everyone! Today I'm going to be showing you how to create a mask using paper. To get started, I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to fold it in half. You can put your paper the side to side way or landscape way and then fold it. Or if you would prefer your mask to be a little bit smaller, you can also fold your paper the up and down way or the portrait way. So I think for this one, I'm actually going to try the up and down way. So I'm going to go portrait style. I'm going to line up my corners and fold this like it is a card or a book. All right, so once I've finished that step, I'm going to grab something that I can make marks with. I'm going to take my fingers and use them as a measuring tool. And I'm going to be laying 3 of my fingers, starting at the folded side and starting on the bottom. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 fingers, and then I'm going to make a mark on the edge of my paper. Now, this is the folded side, and that is going to be facing my left hand. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is take my same 3 fingers and move them to the other side and make a mark. Perfecto. So now I have a mark on the folded edge and also on the open edge. I'm going to make another mark here at the very bottom in the middle. And my next task is going to be to connect my dots. So what I'm going to be doing is connecting this dot over here on the folded edge to this dot on the bottom. And I'm going to draw this with my finger first. It's going to be half of a rainbow. I'm going to go ahead and connect these 2 dots using a line that's like a half rainbow. Next, I'm going to connect this dot to this dot, which is on the open edge. I am going to do a reverse half of a rainbow. All right, now to figure out how tall my mask is going to be, I'm going to take my measuring fingers. Starting from this dot on the folded edge, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3 fingers and then make a dot. And the last step is I'm going to connect that dot to this dot with a curved line. Okay, so this is half of my mask. You could even make this taller if you wanted to. And if you wanted to decorate your mask and add extra details like a crown coming off the top, you could also draw that in. But I'm just going to leave mine plain, and if I want to add extra details later, I can always glue those on separately. So I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to start to cut on the lines. Now, the reason we folded this in half was so that when we cut this while it's folded, it will make a mask that is symmetrical, which means it's the same on both sides. Now, I'm going to keep my scrap for later, but when I open this, it should be a mask that is the same on both sides. If I want to add extra details off of the top of my mask or things coming off the bottom, I can always add those later. But we also definitely need to make some holes for the eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a finger, and this is the folded edge. I'm going to take a finger and I'm going to put it against the fold. And I'm going to use 1 finger this time as my measuring tool, and I'm going to make a dot here. And I think I'm going to make my eye probably about this big. That looks about right. So I'm going to make an ovally shape. That's about that size. And in order to cut out a shape that is inside of another shape like this, here's the trick I'm going to do next. I am going to fold this a little bit so that there's a little bit of this eye on this side and on this side. I'm going to take my scissor and I'm going to cut a little triangle shape out. Not a big one, just enough that I can get my scissor in here. It's like I just punched a hole in my paper. Once I've made myself a little tiny window, I can then get my scissor in here and start to cut out the rest. Now I'm doing this while the paper is folded. So my hope is that when I open this up, I will have 2 eyes on my mask. So 1 eye on each side. Okay, now let's see if it worked. When I open this, I should have 2 eyes. Ta-da! Perfecto. So now I have a mask with 2 eyes. I can always make these bigger if I want to, or I can kind of change the shape of them a little bit. But this is how you can make a simple mask by folding, cutting, and then making that hole for the eyes. All right, everyone, we will go over how to decorate our masks in the next video.